Fear is one of those things that can get in the way. Don't let fear hold you back. Just go ahead and give it a try. 90% of the time, you have some level of success in everything that you try.
We have 168 hours in a week. I have 8 hours of sleep a night, or whatever it is you sleep. Block out your time, see where you're at. I'm sure you may be able to find at least 30 minutes to an hour, maybe up to 2 hours sometimes in a week for you to be able to say, hey, okay, I'm just gonna sit down and get started. Hey everyone, I am Brian Gines. This is my beautiful wife, Michelle Gines, and this is Expertise Unleashed.
Expertise Unleashed. And you guys, today we are talking about the 7 reasons why people get or have fear of releasing their expertise. Now, this podcast is really all about helping you to release what it is that you have on the inside of you, those God-given gifts, those talents, those skills, those expertise opportunities that you have inside of you. So this episode is going to be a good one because fear is one of those things that holds a lot of people back. So we're just going to jump in if that's all right with you, Brian. You ready to get started?
All right with me. Let's do it. Let's jump in.
So what's the number one thing, the number one reason why people hold back their expertise?
So it is a fear of failure and rejection. And basically, many people fear that their efforts might not succeed or worry about how others might perceive them if they don't achieve immediate success.
Immediate success. Why does it have to be immediate success?
I don't know why it necessarily has to be immediate, but I do remember having a mentor tell me that you will finish 0% of the races that you never start. And so, you have all of these things, and what we like to say is, so I'm gonna just say this up front, we are God-fearing people, we are believers, and we do believe in the Bible.
Yes.
So we just want to get that out there and put that out there for everybody that's watching.
Yeah.
And so I feel like that God has given us each gifts and talents and abilities and things like that, a purpose in life.
Yes.
But because of fear of what may happen.
Yeah.
You don't even know.
Right. What might happen.
What might happen or not happen. I may have, I may start and it doesn't work. Okay, well, Colonel Sanders started it, he was 55, 60 years old.
Yeah.
Before he started frying chicken.
Right. He was over 60.
Look how many times he failed.
Yeah.
But then what happened?
It really took off.
I think KFC is in, I don't know how many countries around the world.
We were in Dubai last year and a man brought a bucket of KFC chicken on the airplane. They let him put it through the machine, the X-ray checking machine. Remember that? As a matter of fact,
it was crazy.
I wanted some of his chicken, as a matter of fact.
Shoot, I wanted 2 pieces of that chicken.
And would have taken some if he had let us. But you know what? Sometimes fear is one of those things that can get in the way of really helping you to do what it is that God has designed or called you to do. And we tell people all the time that it doesn't matter. Like, don't let fear hold you back. Just go ahead and give it a try. Just give it a shot. Like, just go ahead and take an action, because what we have found is that when you do, 90% of the time, you have some level of success in everything that you try.
And even if it's not immediate success, you still will have some success. And actually, the biggest success is really you trusting God, and moving forward in Him and what He gave you. I do remember when we first started trying to put a business together, there was a lot of fear and apprehension. But we didn't I don't remember us saying, hey, we had fear and apprehension, but it didn't stop us.
No, we just did it anyway.
We just did it and things kind of took off.
Yeah.
And actually we're surprised that we never really had to advertise. It was funny how God just kept bringing business as we kept taking steps. So,
yeah.
I would just say for those out there, and those who are, tuning in for the first time watching us, You'll hear a lot of faith talk here, a lot of, you can do it, but we're going to put some steps behind that.
Yeah.
But, like I said previously, if you never get in the block to start the race and actually go, you will never finish. So you will have 100% of what you don't start. So really what you have to ask yourself, do you want to improve your situation and change your situation? If God gave you something, or are you going to, just pull back and not do it because you're worried about, what may or may not happen?
Right. We're not going to worry about stuff. Like, if something is unsuccessful, and success is objective, right? I mean, or subjective. So we're not going to let that stop us. We're going to get in the race, right? We're going to pursue. So we're not going to let that be one of the things. So that's number one. Fear is number one, but we got to hit you now with what's number two.
Number two is that imposter syndrome.
What?
So it's even if you're highly knowledgeable, and a lot of people are, some people feel that they aren't expert enough to share what they know. And this self-doubt leads to them pulling back and not moving out in what they know, which is critical.
Yeah. Now check this out. So imposter syndrome has jumped up, and actually there's data around imposter syndrome, and people are doing a lot of work and therapy around imposter syndrome because, like you said, people feel like they aren't expert enough. You have gained some skills. You've gained some expertise, but sometimes we are comparing ourselves to maybe somebody who's been doing it longer, somebody who may be more knowledgeable, but it doesn't reduce the knowledge and the value that you have. Because think about it this way. There's a number of people who have gone to school, accumulated hours and time, experience and stuff in doing certain skills, and have developed a level of expertise around whatever their particular industry or area of expertise is, right? Well, when you start comparing yourself to maybe somebody who is just been doing it longer, doesn't mean that your perspective or your acumen, your savvy, what you bring to it makes yours any less than theirs. But what has happened is there's been a throw out of that fake it till you make it that's been put out there. And so when people do that, then it's like, oh, well, I'm going to fake it. Well, no, we're not going to fake it till we make it. We're going to do what, Brian?
I think we going to learn so we can earn.
Yeah, that's what we going to do. And most of the time people have. They've learned it. They have earned it, and they are earning it. And the thing about it is you just don't have to compare you to nobody else. You and what you bring to the table is yours. It's enough. And when you stop comparing who you are, what you have, what you've done to somebody else's, then that reduces that stress of that I have to compete with nobody else. The only person you have to compete with is you. And to be honest, because the Lord said that you are fearfully and wonderfully made, you don't even have to compete with you. He said that just as he's made you, that's enough. And because you are enough, you don't have to do nothing more critical or no different or anything. All you have to do is believe it, walk in it, be okay with it, and you can do it. And so you're not an imposter. That's really what the point of this is. You're not an imposter.
And not only are you not an imposter, comparison is a killer of creativity.
Ain't it though?
It is just a killer because, when you're constantly comparing and you're thinking you're not this and thinking you're not that, there is no room, from a brain processing perspective, for you to be creative, and you to be able to say, okay, what do I need to do here? What do I need to do there? What do I need to do here? Instead of you relying on what you already know, the expertise that you have, and saying, hey, you know what, Lord, my desire is to do this. I believe you've given me this gift, open up and create some ways, some creative thinking for me that I can use that will help me serve some other people out here. So if you kind of just switch up,
the way you think about
it. If we just switch that up, because like you said, the whole fake it till you make it thing was a real big deal. But no, You've learned it, you know, and there's logical steps that you can take to earn it, but you have within yourself have to be able to know, that God's got your back in whatever you want to do. So you don't have to compare with anybody. You are one of one.
And that's enough.
You are one of one. I'm one of one. You are one of one. So, just understand that.
Yeah. And that's enough.
So another thing is, Michelle.
Number three is lack of direction and clarity. Now, this is a big one because for a lot of people, they often struggle with being able to identify, where do I start? Right? Like, how do I get a structure in place to turn my expertise into something that is marketplace ready, that I can make it into a business? And here's what I tell people. If you know how, then you can show how. And here's what that means. Essentially, you just need a roadmap on how is it that you do what it is that you do, and being able to put those fine details into an explainable, a reproducible format for somebody else to be able to take, leverage, and produce the same type of an outcome. And that's really what the framework really is all about. You're essentially taking, what's the problem that somebody has that you can solve? I think about all the time, what do people come to you for? What is your realm of expertise? For some people, it might be bookkeeping and accounting. And if I'm not good with numbers, then hey, I hire somebody to do my accounting and bookkeeping for me. If I'm not good with hammering nails, I got a handyman that I'm going to hire to take care of those things for me. So whatever your know-how is, then you're showing somebody else how to get that done. Either you're going to take the project and you're going to do it for them and they're going to pay you, or you're going to show them how to do what it is that they need to get done. And they're going to pay you to teach them that. So either you're a consultant or a contractor with whatever your area of expertise is. And that's really what it is that you are doing. So most of the time, I will always tell people, whenever I'm coaching somebody, whenever I'm consulting with someone, it is really about turning what it is that you have and that area of expertise that you have, it can be turned into something that is marketable in the marketplace. I think about the very first nonfiction book I did was 7 Keys of a Queen, Releasing the Entrepreneurial Woman. And you know what it was all about? The first entrepreneurial woman, the Queen of Sheba, she was the example. Here she was going to King Solomon to find out, hey, how you running this kingdom like you run it? And when she came and saw what he was doing, all of his servants, all of his men, all of the people that he was talking to, she was so overwhelmed by what it was he was doing. Sister gave that brother some gold, silver, all kinds of other things. She paid him for learning how he did what he was doing, and that was managing his kingdom. So if you don't know, get a mentor. Get somebody that can help you leverage what it is that you know. And that's how you do that. It can be done. If you don't have the clarity and direction, get somebody that can give you the clarity and direction. It's easy. It can be done.
It can be done. I think about this. Jesus was washing. He was meeting with the disciples, and he took his robe off and began to wash their feet. And they were kind of like, "Oh, what are you doing? You the anointed one. You the Messiah." And he said, "No, I have to do this because I need you to learn this lesson. The greatest in the kingdom is the one who serves."
Yeah.
And so, when you're talking about lack of direction and clarity, it's good that you said that because, when we want people to unleash their expertise, we are serving people. We're serving people. And if you lead with that in mind, that will help you. Okay. It'll help you, one, get over fear of things, because a lot of people are like, man, the church people, oh, here they come. They about to start hitting me with this. No, Jesus was a people person,
He was.
and so, you know, just get into the mind that you're going to serve,
Right.
and things will begin to come clear. And like you said, once you start putting actionable steps behind it, you will start making, incremental leaps, and then you will find yourself where you want to be.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you covered that very, very well.
Thank
very
you.
well.
Okay.
So what was number 4 on the list?
Number 4. All right. So overwhelmed by existing commitments. Now, I know that most people fall into this trap. Like, so how do I balance my full-time job, my family, ministry, volunteer commitments, other things that I need to do? I just don't have time really to, unleash my expertise. I'm just, I'm working. I got to make this money or do what I need to do to take care of what I already have going on. And I really can't. I don't have time to do it. You know what? And that's a big one because that's true. But I think about Brian and I, like we have had some type of a business in addition to our corporate work for a number of years. Like we just never just did corporate stuff. Like we had a corporate job, but we also did something on the side. And whatever it is that you have in your hands, you can do. I remember learning how to do income taxes like when I was in my early 20s. And you know what? I still do. I'm in my 50s now. And I still have a small book of income tax clients that I still do their income taxes for them now, 20 years later. And the reason is it's something that I know how to do. I learned how to do it. And, I can still serve people in that way, right? It's a skill. You learn it. It's something you can do. And so I would tell you in your time, take the time that you have and use it in using those skills because the Lord gave us the opportunity to use what's in our hands. Whatever you have in your hands can be used. And in the time that you have. Now, it may be for some people that you might at a point in time, if you get so good with your with those skills and those talents, those gifts, that expertise that you have, you may be able to leave your full time because it can absolutely replace what you're doing on your full-time job.
I think a good thing, for people to do, if they have this one, man, it's just so much. I think a good thing to do is to do a time inventory.
Yeah.
Brian. I think we have 168 hours in a week.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I have 8 hours of sleep a night or whatever it is you sleep. You plot it all out. Okay. I get up, I work 8 hours a day.
Mm-hmm.
I come home or I got to go get the kids, after dinner, I have this amount of time. Block out your time, see where you're at. I'm sure you may be able to find, at least 30 minutes to an hour, maybe up to 2 hours sometimes, in a week, for you to be able to say, hey, okay, I'm just going to sit down and get started. Okay, This is what I know. I know I've earned, on my job doing this or whatever have you, this expertise that I have. I'm just going to start writing some things down to get started.
Yeah.
And then, like you said, get with somebody who can mentor you, who can coach you, who can, help you along the way. But if you do a time inventory, you may be surprised at, man, I do maybe have 3 hours within a week that I can do this. Or maybe if it's only an hour, I'm just saying start there.
Yeah.
Don't let that hold you back saying, I got all this. We had all that. We had 3 kids.
Yeah.
We had jobs. We had church. We had things we do. You got family, holidays, all of those things.
Yeah.
But we still found time, within that to be able to start businesses and do well with business. So I would say that may be the first thing that somebody needs to do.
Yeah.
You got 168 hours in a week. Just sit down after all the kids are asleep or whatever. If you don't have kids and all that, it's maybe even easier for you. I'm not sure. Maybe you're taking care of parents or something like that. But, if you do a time inventory, it will show you, these little areas where you can do some different things just to start. But don't let that Don't let time,
Yeah. Because we
being
can get it.
overwhelmed, stop you
Yeah.
from pushing forward.
Yeah. Because sometimes, and we might have to challenge ourselves. I'm gonna look at you I'm gonna look at y'all right here. Look at me. I'm gonna challenge you to look at your time, because we get in what we fit in, right? So if you really want to spend your time figuring out how you can unleash your expertise, you will do it. Because we do what we want to. We'll get it in. So if you want to, you can get that in too. Okay. Here's the last thing that I will say about it too is the thought occurred to me that there are a number of companies, they were talking about 15,000 jobs that I believe it's Google or Intel, one of the companies is getting ready to lay people off. People get
Lot of jobs.
impacted by job layoffs, different types of things happen within organizations. They make adjustments and things like that. I will always tell you, be prepared to be able to do whatever it is that can take care of you in the event that an adjustment gets made at the organization that you work for. Not to say that you'll be impacted by it, but if it were to occur, you be ready. You've got something else already ready that you can that you can leverage and move into. So don't let time be a killer of you being able to do something different. All right. This moves right into this next one, Brian.
So the number five
five.
is a fear of financial instability, and that's leaving a steady income to start a business is daunting. Some worry about potential financial situations and stresses that may come, that may or may not come. And what I would say about that is this is a big one, because I think in our society, we're used to looking at people and saying, hey, they made it, this person made it, that person made it. It may be even some people in your family that have made it, started a business and made it, but we don't ever think it's for us. Like we never, some way we never think it's for us. It's like a disconnect, and I would say, I think you said it earlier, we always had our corporate jobs and then we always started things on the side, but there were times, and I'm not, I don't dwell on it, because our Bible teaches us to forget things that are behind us, but sometimes I wish we would have just jumped on out there.
Oh, yeah.
But there is a proper way to do it. Do
Yes.
not have a dream on Wednesday night and go in Thursday morning and quit your job. Do not do that and say, God said. He might have said, but he did not tell you to quit your job. I don't believe. But what you can do is look at what you want to do. The Bible says count up the cost.
Yes.
Before you do anything, you got to count the cost. What is it that I want to do? Get clear on what you want to do, and then start to save. Start to save. Who knows how long it may take before you have 6 months, a year worth of finances, to be able to save up. So then when you put yourself to a point, get yourself into a situation where, hey, I have my direction. I know where I'm going. I have this amount of money saved up. If all else fails, I know I can go back and get another career or a corporate position. I know I can do that. But you need to save. Don't let that stop you. Put that into place.
Yeah.
And be able to save some money so you can start and so you can do things correctly. And then you don't have to have that stress of, how's my rent or mortgage going to get paid? How are my bills going to get paid? How am I going to eat all these things? What if I got kids and things like that?
Yeah.
Just put the money back, because like Michelle says, we all do what we want to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
So why not save?
Yeah.
For your, I would call it your next level
Yeah.
of success in God.
Yeah. So here's one thing I would add on to that. Victory loves preparation.
You like to steal that from me, don't
Yeah,
you?
I do. So here's the thing. So what it is that you have in your hand, and like I just gave you the example, I done been doing income taxes for 20 years. Still do that for people on the side, right? So while you have your corporate job, do your little extra stuff. Do what those gifts, those talents and stuff that you have, that know-how that you can show how. Do that while you're doing your corporate stuff. I'm not telling you to do that while you're doing it on your corporate time. I'm saying do that in addition to your corporate stuff. Moonlighting is what they used to call it. You do it like from 9 to, after 5 o'clock, do your stuff and help. So you do those things so that you stacking. Right. So you're adding on. So you have in addition to, right? Like we used to call it our shoe money, our vacation money, our extra money. You building up some extra cash reserves. Then what happens is you've got this extra that you are building up and you are padding your income. So that gives you the ability to be able to prepare for if you decide there could come a time when you're doing so much on your extra in your side business that it can overcome or make more than what you're doing in your full time. So it can replace that income, or it could just be a really good stockpile so that when you're ready to move on from and replace or you can do both. You might be able to do both. It just kind of depends. But what we're saying is you don't have to sacrifice one for the other. You can prepare and make it so that you can make a good transition when you're ready to transition, whenever it's time for that transition to happen.
Yeah, because I just thought about this. Everybody doesn't hate their job.
Right.
Some people love their jobs and they want to stay on and they want to retire.
Yeah,
but
they can do it.
That does not mean that you cannot, use your expertise in another area.
Yeah.
And so, like
or in addition to your full-time job.
But don't let fear of financial instability hold you back.
No, don't do that. All right.
What's number 6?
Number 6 is the perceived complexity of entrepreneurship. Oh, it's too hard. It's too much. It's required the operational side of running a business. And it is a business. Don't get it twisted. It is. It's marketing, it's sales, it's accounting, it's administrative, it's people management, it's automations, it's systems, it's all of that stuff.
But you know what, Michelle? You don't have to worry about any of that when you're just getting started.
Explain.
Well, so let's just say I'll just use myself for example. So I did sales. I've done sales for several organizations. And, I really feel like I could do a whole sales coaching thing, and I'm just saying, just talking in jest.
Yeah.
And so because I'm like, I've worked in this organization, I was like, oh man, I got to get out here. I got to hire, recruit, I got to train, then I got to go get clients, then I got to sell them on my product, and I got to do all this and all of those sorts of things. Then I'm gonna have to hire an admin to help me do these all different tasks. Well, I can't even think about that until I made a commitment to myself to go ahead and get started and do the business.
Yeah.
From day one. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Who am I going after? And all these other things. You can't even get to the operational side of things. Yes, it is a lot, and it will be a lot as you grow. Mm-hmm. But I can just remember when we started the first catering company with my partner and I. What's up, Jax? I got to give a shout out to Jax because we started this catering company back in the days.
Yeah.
But I could just remember when we started out, we didn't really know what we were doing. We weren't worried about all of that, how to, eventually we grew to the point where we weren't buying from the grocery stores. We were getting our food wholesale. Mm-hmm. We grew to the point where, we were doing different things and negotiating on pricing on food and things like that, and so I'm just saying, don't get ahead of yourself.
Yeah.
Don't let what may come and may be down the road. Yes, you're going to have to grow to those things, but here's the good thing about it. Everything that you need has already been done.
Yeah.
A lot of times we don't have to recreate the wheel.
Right.
There's accountants out there. There's attorneys out there. Mm-hmm. There's people that coach out there. There's sales training out there.
Right.
All those things that you will grow to, but you'll never be able to grow to it if you don't start.
Right.
So again, you have to get in the block.
Yeah.
And you have to hear the gun go off
Yeah.
so you can begin to run. You know, don't let all that stuff overwhelm you and deter you. There are resources out there that we can pull on and rely on, you know, so that is not an issue.
Yeah. No, that's so good. You know what? And it's so important that you don't let things be a deterrent to you. All right. So we're going to hit you with this last one because this is a big one. And this one sometimes can overwhelm all the other things. Because this will keep people from ever doing anything at all. And this one is the fear of criticism and public scrutiny. You know, many fear how other people will think about them. You know, what will somebody say, you know, their peers, the audience, you know, what might, you know, so-and-so say about your ideas and your content, what you putting out there, you know, oh my gosh, you know, me and Brian, this is the first podcast that our show that we're doing, you know, for Expertise Unleashed. And but we've known how to do this stuff. We've been doing it for over 15, 20 years now.
Long time.
You know, and this is the first time that we're publicly even coming out with something in this format to be able to share with people. And so the thing that I'm going to tell you is don't be afraid. We ain't scared of nobody. What we know, we know.
We ain't scared.
We have grown in this. People come to us often about a lot of things that, you know, whether it's marriage stuff, whether it's business stuff, whether it's ministry stuff, because it's not new to us. We've been doing it for a long time. We've got experience in it. And so what we would say to you is the same thing that we would say to ourselves. You've got experience in it. You have been doing it for a while. And even if when we're talking about unleash your expertise, we're talking about leveraging your education, your experience, your expertise in stuff that you know. We're not telling you to go, and I'm not going to come and try to teach you about something that I don't have any experience in at all. But the stuff that I know, I can talk to you about, and I can talk to you about it well. So the stuff that you know, you can talk to people about it well. You're not afraid. So don't be afraid of it. And it doesn't matter because everybody's not going to be your audience. You know, now this is how me and Brian vibe. This is how we roll, right? So we might not be everybody's flavor. And it's okay.
That's okay.
And we all right with that. And if you all right with us, you can flow with us. And if we not your cup of tea, then we might tell you, put the remote down, turn us off. But if you are faith-based, if you are just cool with listening and learning from some people who got a little sense and is willing to share it with you, I think you can learn some stuff from us. And I think people can learn some stuff from you if you're willing to share it with them. And you don't take criticism or other people's criticism to heart.
You know what? I just a quick example. I remember, corporately speaking, I remember there would be people who would not apply for management positions because they were scared. They were fearful of what people in their on their peer level would say. Mm-hmm. You know, or they were fearful of what, you know, their family would say. Mm-hmm. You know, and you know, I would tell them, I'm like, okay, so how many of your bills are they paying? Mm-hmm. How are they raising your kids? Or, you know, how part of they are your goals and dreams? You know, you told me you wanted to be a VP. You know, well, you can't get there unless you take this next step. So you are willing to let, you know, fear of criticism and what other people think about you limit you, you know, from moving forward in whatever capacity is that they wanted to move forward. And when I framed it that way, you know, they were like, man, you know, and then you'll find, you know, once you get on that level, yes, if people are going to talk about you and run you down and all those things, so what? You know, because I believe, you know, the Bible says if you delight yourself in him, he'll give you the desires of your heart, you know, or give you desires that he wants you to have that's conducive for the kingdom to grow. And so you're actually doing a disservice to yourself, if you let fear of criticism or public scrutiny or anything like that hold you back, because my Bible tells me that God did not give us the spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sober mind, disciplined thought and thinking.
Yeah.
So that tells you need to move forward and not worry about what people say about you.
That's right.
I remember there was a portion of scripture, and the disciple says, hey, this guy's over here and he's doing this and that. And Jesus said, leave him alone, because if he's not against us, he's for us.
Yeah.
So listen, let all that stuff roll off.
Yeah.
Whatever expertise that God has given you, I would even say you are obligated.
Yes, you are.
To release that to the world.
You are.
And not only that, I believe not only will you be better for it, but your family and those around you will be better for it, because sometimes when people see us doing it, we're that one person that people can see doing it.
Yeah.
And they say, I can do it.
That's right.
That's and right. Then next thing you know, you got that spark then created a whole wildfire.
That's the butterfly effect.
So I guess I would sum up this, by saying, these 7 things are common.
They are.
If you're feeling any of these 7 things, it's normal. We're human. Yeah. We've gone through these things, but yet we still started, and persevered through some things, and we're better for it. Yeah. So like I said, don't let these things hold you back.
Nothing. Don't let any of it hold you back. Stay on track. You can get there. When you're ready to release your expertise, I'm telling you, the world will be waiting on you. Don't forget, if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button. We'll be dropping episodes each week, and we want to see you in the next edition.
We'll see you next time on Expertise Unleashed. And I'm going to end with this. Some people are meant to build a small business. Some people are meant to build a big business. And some people are meant to build empires. Which one are you?